think it's really delayed. It's probably 5 minutes delayed or something like that.
Yeah, no, they're getting smaller and smaller.
Like, sometimes you told me, you wouldn't really expect me to do introductions today. I've been nervous so many times before. It's kind of but the main time when it's like an unnatural nervous is when you're getting like the pictures like I have. No, you just feel.
Really? Yep. I don't mind it. From the time you put your hand in front of it.
Yeah, that's what I had to use for like my like.
This is Nigel.
Like this one hurt.
Hey brother, how are you? I'm seeing your work on the phone.
It's like think about your cat. I'm like, and so I think about it. And next thing you know, it's just like
that's cool.
when your cat's like implicating you. It's fine.
What was your name? Daniel.
Can we get those lights on there?
Yeah, I think we can turn the lights on.
Just so I can get an exposure.
Yeah.
Oh, New Zealand is just an accent. You don't know why.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Good answer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My dad says
Cut out.
but we've watched the doc. We stopped watching Sky and I still got my accent. So it's kind of like,
Yeah, I thought you were American.
oh, lots of people do. Well,
You're the Kiwi.
I'm full Kiwi. But like,
No, it's just lost my head.
that's kind of funny. Maybe you should put markers on there and be a disco ball. Yeah. But what would be really cool though is like Halloween, you could paint the top of your head as a pumpkin, then lie down and do that Halloween.
On the street.
Cut out, but I think it's going again
Just
now.
help me with the teetering. I was at the top there and I realised this thing is a hat, but you got this like wine glass and you got to pour a coke bottle into it. So I'm gonna love it to stick it up somewhere and use it in the cup. Yeah, unless you force it, it's like cola and you put Mentos right inside. Yes. I love it though when people manage to inject Mentos stuff inside of the cocaine itself and then it just explodes. It's actually really satisfying to watch it. Because there's just like hardly any space that you just like there. It's gone. I'm not saying it's gone because it's like one of those funny things that even if I got an accent, it just sounds so natural. Yeah, I don't mind if you say it's weird. Like, really don't mind because I'm different from everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just great how you pick up accents, you know?
Yeah. It's like one of those days you just walk down the street, you see this cola bowl just explode right in front of you and be like, well, that's gone. The problem is that you gotta walk way around it if you got bare feet.
Yeah.
If not, have fun and just smash it with your feet, like
You're not giving away all your...
no.
got the feet on.
Sorry?
Really sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, so my dad did straight, pretty much. Mum, you don't really like jokes though, do you?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because some of these jokes are for you. I'm like, some of them, I don't know which one's dedicated yet. You know what I mean. You know, some of those things. Yeah.
Is that your brother?
Yeah, that's my brother. He's more interested in devices. So it's just me. I was like, come play with me. Next minute, he's like, let me finish my game.
Don't get in that. Don't get that because you'll lose it.
So one day my brother's like wanting to play with me for stand up technology, and I'm like, in a minute, because I'm on my computer paying you back. It's like, oh, my mum got on, come on, play with us.
Still working.
Exactly.
So you're just sitting there, and you're kind of like confused why your mother doesn't want that savings for me, and then like, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, you see, like, something like you're in there mingling, and your brother mingling in his head. Yeah, mingling in.
Yeah, but which could potentially lead to being deep.
Exactly.
Brother? He's not that younger than me, actually. So I'm 12, he's around about 11. Hey, yo! So there's a lot of funny stuff that you do.
Does he do stand up as well, does he?
No. No, he doesn't. He's a shy.
Oh, yeah, he's more of a show.
So I'm glad I got my dad's comedy side.
Yeah.
Unlike some of my dad's jokes are really good.
Are you gonna do it when you like leave school? Do you want to carry on like doing comedy?
Yeah, I want to carry on doing comedy even though it's my first time.
So if you're doing a show at the ASB, we get cheaper tickets. I don't know.
I ain't no entrepreneur yet.
Do we get VIP tickets to see it? Yeah, sure.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
But hey, I have started my own job. My business just ended bids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's that?
It was Stop Fun and Grow. We create little pop plant holders which are shaped like little elephants for some reason. I don't know why. I was in a group, so we just like chose elephants because it was like one little bottles of milk. So I'm like, yeah, definitely elephants. So yeah, we put the plant, we put dirt in it. We sell tickets for $2 to $3. Yeah, and we earn $63 to $64. $63 to $64. Although our goal was like actually to get $80 to pay off our expenditure. So we were just about $12 under. So yeah, that's coming out of pocket money. Luckily, I only have to pay $2. Yeah, but if you want to know. challenges where you just gotta drink some stuff. Trust me, it's not as bad as having to drink like cola with a raspberry Fanta.
You don't like that?
No, like I like Coke raspberry, but raspberry Fanta or strawberry Fanta, like the Fanta with strawberry just tastes. Well, like you smell it, it smells like delish. You finally take a taste, it tastes like some sort of yuckiness.
Too sweet.
Well, it's not too sweet. It's like it's not even
Anyone
that
laughs
sugar.
at it, you can just say that.
It's not that. It just tastes like black. You just don't want it.
I just imagine like Coke, like raspberry syrup.
The raspberry Coke's good. It's just like a strawberry
I
Coke.
was going to say, can you not just get like cherry Coke? That'll be like cherry Coke for the sake of it.
Coke's okay. It's basically when it's your own homegrown cherry. I'm like actual cherry juice itself inside the Coke. That's okay.
Just too sweet.
Other than that, there's lots of funny combinations that Coke has been doing. I'm like, have you heard of the Coke Ice mix? That went out pretty fast because, well, it just tasted like Coke, and people were like, oh, you know, it's just more limited.
We've got 2 years. I'm excited.
You can't take
I'm
Coke
one
Ice.
of them.
Turns out the packet with ice inside the bottle.
Yeah, turn that off, it's gonna even
Next
through my
thing you know,
data.
it gets So it's kind of like, where's the point of this? So you stuck with that.
Ice is yeah, ice on a full ice.
Ice is the compact.
I'm out.
Yeah.
It's like ice or water. You've got one
Yeah,
beer, dip ice in drinks, and it just makes
pretty bad because I had some at one of my friends' parties and it's just so watery.
some people like to like
So like, there's a store about this high, and it's like, all my other friends can sit on it, and I'm just like,
you can purge on it though, you can purge it.
yeah, I'm like a little bro, but my mum introduced me, so I know a lot of Looney Tunes characters, like Elmer Fudd, but the thing that Elmer Fudd used to be this fat, pudgy man who doesn't need to do hunting, but he's mining for gold. I'm surprised he doesn't pick his nose. Because he mines for gold up there too.
Is that still around, Tom and Jerry?
Well, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah, it's still around, even on Netflix.
Really?
Yeah.
What? I used to love Tom and Jerry. Hey, what?
I still like Tom and Jerry. I mean, like, I used to go to a video store and try and find all the Tom and Jerry episodes. One day that store shut down. I'm like, hey, no more Tom and Jerry. Then on Netflix and Hallelujah, something that we haven't seen before, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like Tom and Jerry inside. Next thing you know, all they do is like eat stuff and then they just like, go to the home and the mom can't go and try.
Test. Can you hear me? Can you? Yes. I can see you people, so not. Yeah. I can't see them. It's too bright. Okay. Good. Yep. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Stand Up for Peace, a fundraising event for the victims of Christchurch. Before we begin tonight with the comedy, we would love to invite Brother Zaid and Brother Jazz from the Muslim Society to come up and have a few words. So give them a round of applause and welcome. Good evening. Evening.
Yeah, I'm only a little guy. That's good. We're a comedy act, so just... Don't be fooled by the walking stick. It's actually a sword stick sent to me by Donald Trump just in case you give me a hard time. This is quite a change from my lifestyle to be in a public bar. I'll just tell you that one of the last times that I was ever in a pub, one of the last times, way back in 1972, when I arrived in Blenheim, I'd only been in Blenheim for about 2 months, and a friend I worked with in Wellington by the name of Kevin, he came to stay with us for a couple of days because he said, let's go to your favourite pub. Now, in those days, every male member in New Zealand was named Kevin. They're all named Kevin. Anyway, I didn't have a favourite pub, so we went to where number 1 shoe shop is now, and I think it was called the Masonic. Anyway, we're sitting there having a beer, and about 3 metres away, playing pool, was Godzilla and King Kong. Well, that's what they looked like to me, being a little tiny, skinny pom. After a while, we realised they were not playing pool and they were looking at us. So, King Kong comes over to where we are sitting and he looks down at me and he says, "Are you a pom?" She had fists as big as dinner plates. And I thought, if I say yes, he's going to hammer me into the floor. And it was a concrete floor. So, I'd lived in the States before coming to New Zealand for 13 years, so I picked up a few words that were not in the English dictionary. I can't tell you what they all are, but things like lieutenant instead of lieutenant, and aluminum instead of aluminium. So, fear makes you think very clearly. So I looked up at him and said, "No, actually, I'm Canadian." So he looked at me and he said, "That's all right then." And he patted me on the head and probably gave me a brain fracture. Anyway, I tell you that story because had I said I was a pom that night, I would not be here today to say, thank you guys, what you're doing. On behalf of the Muslim Association of Marlborough, we are very small, and for the people in Christchurch, you guys are the New Zealand that I know and love. You guys are the salt of the earth, and it's a big privilege for me to come here today and to see you guys. There's no words I can express how I want to thank you guys. And I'll let my brother here say something.
Yeah, sure. I've only been here for 3 or 4 years, and I feel this is my home now. And one thing that's come across since the awful events in March of last month is the unity. I just feel that we're just one big family, and as soon as I stepped in, smell the alcohol. Wow, and all these smiling people, I thought, wow, this is just great. This is, you've all sort of supported the cause in your own special way by turning up, with your friends and having a laugh and laughing at his jokes, which are not as funny as my jokes, but his jokes are far more funnier. It means a lot to us because, as Ian has said, we're just a small group of people. We just get on with our daily lives. We're just like everyone else, pay our taxes and work hard.
He's a school teacher.
No, don't tell him that.
That's why it's going on.
But it means a lot to us that, standing in front of you, you lovely people, that you are supporting those poor souls who've lost loved ones in Christchurch. And, God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Before we get on to the show, just a few thank yous. So, a thank you to C4 Workshop, who provides snowboard and ski rentals, servicing and repairs. Follow them on Instagram, that's C4 Workshop.
Very nice.
Also, a big thank you to 5TAP for hosting this event. It's great that you guys had us, have us here to do this, that you've closed off your bar so people could come in. It's great. Fantastic. Anyone who hasn't been here before? This is an awesome place, eh? Yeah, it's cool. And Karaka Cuisine for driving up to this awesome little service door that we've got on the side here. This is sweet. So thanks for coming along. I do recommend the brisket tacos are really, really good. But do take the napkins because they're moist. All right. So enough with the thank yous. Enough with all the formalities. Let's get into the meat of the evening. Let's get into the comedy. Unfortunately, it starts with me. So I'll tell you a story. Okay. So when I was a 16-year-old lad, friends and I we had this tradition back in our teenage years, and we'd go off to my friend's farm, and they had this cute little cottage there. It was really good. And nobody lived in it, so we could go and have a party. It was awesome. So on this particular event, we all go to the cottage. It was us boys in a van. We all drive up, and we get out, and the girls aren't there yet. So we're a bunch of 16-year-old boys on a farm by ourselves. What do? What do you do when you're a 16-year-old boy? You set fire to shit. And we're on a farm, so there's literal shit to set fire to. It's great. So, we went around. We had Lynx cans and lighters and stuff, because you're 16 years old, and that's what you have. And we'd get big piles of poo and we'd set fire to it, and we'd all laugh, and then we'd kick it, and then we'd flaming poo flying everywhere, and we'd laugh at that. And that was really good. That was good for like a whole 15 minutes, and then you'd sort of get, whiz off, and you're like, oh, poo. Again. So, what do? We ran out of fun things to set fire to. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't a racing car, there was a bee. If anyone, so a bee flies by. Oh, let's burn the bee. This is a smart idea when you're 16, okay? You see a bee, you want to set fire to it. So we do the old Lynx can flamethrower. Anyone's done that? You get the Lynx can, you get the lighter, and you start, and we start chasing this bee. And we get it. And it turns into a little fireball and flies to the ground. And this is the greatest thing we've ever seen in all of our lives. We need to find some more bees. So we run around, we find more of these bees. And we're, get another one, and it goes into the ground. Another one. All of a sudden we're like, shit, actually there's a lot of bees going around. These bees are starting flying around us. It's about this time that the girls arrive. And the girls get out of the van and they go, shit, there's a lot of bees. And they go inside to get away from the bees, which is smart of them. But this leaves us guys with a dilemma. We are here to impress the girls. They need to know that we're tough and sexy so that they might procreate with us or something at some stage in our life. We're 16. We don't know what we're doing. We're 16. Fuck. So we get in our heads. We have to find the source of the bees and destroy it. And then the girls will love us. So we go hunting for the bees. We follow the bees until they start getting thicker and thicker and thicker. And we find out this beehive. It's up in the guttering of this little cottage. We're like, good, we got those bastards. And the girls are all sitting inside. They're looking out the window at us, being tough and sexy. That's what we are, yeah. We get our little flamethrowers up and we're going up. And this girl and her parents own the farm. So this girl, she sticks her head out the window and she goes, "Don't do that!" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Don't do that, you can't set fire to it." And I'm like, "Why not? We're trying to save you and be tough and sexy." And no, she's right though, because we'll set fire to the house and kill everyone. So we're stuck there. We've got no plan. You know, the girls are afraid of the bees. We want to kill the bees, and we're not allowed to set fire to them. That was our only plan. And we need to look tough and sexy in front of the girls. This is important. So this one guy gets an idea, and he grabs a stick. It's only a short stick, but he grabs a stick and he runs up to this beehive and he starts waving around. And the girls start screaming because the bees start, sort of getting a little bit agitated at this. And all of a sudden this guy's the toughest and sexiest of them all. And that's sad for the rest of us. Now I'm going to pull away from my story a little bit. I'm going to explain what I mean by tough and sexy. When you're 16 years old, that's what you want to be. You want to be tough and sexy in front of the girls. And what we do is we do something really dangerous and stupid. Okay? And then the girls scream, and that validates how tough and sexy we are. Yeah? Yeah, sexy. Okay? So, so tough and sexy. What's happening, is if we do something dangerous, we're tough. If we're doing something that will get us killed, and we survive, we're tough. And if the girls are screaming, there's got to be a reason for that. They're screaming because they don't want us to get hurt. And the reason they don't want us to get hurt is because they care for us. And the reason they care for us is because we're sexy. That's how my mind worked.
I agree.
Yeah. So this one guy with a stick was the toughest and sexiest of all of us 16-year-old guys. Everyone else gets it in their head, oh, we've got to be tough and sexy too. So they all grab these little sticks and they run up to the beehive. And all the girls are screaming even louder. Not me though. I haven't picked up a tiny little stick. I'm like, no, damn it. Because they're all now as equally tough and sexy as each other. There's no one who's above all of them except for maybe the guy who did it first. I have to be the toughest and sexiest of them all. So I grab this really big long stick and I just run to the front of everyone. I elbow them aside and I just start wailing on this beehive. I'm just knocking it around and poking holes in it. And all the guys run away and I'm like, yeah, I'm the toughest and sexiest of them all. And the girls are screaming, they're losing their voices. And the reason the guys ran away wasn't because I was so tough and sexy that it scared them away. It's because the bees had come out and they were swarming me. And so I fought those bees like a tough and sexy man. It's kind of like this. And they're swarming all over my head and they get in my clothes and stinging me. We counted about 30 stings to my head alone. That was quite interesting. Yeah. Now, with the girl screaming, I'm going to digress from my story again. I'm going to explain what goes through the mind of a 16-year-old girl. I'm 34 now, and I just sort of found out this probably like last week, is that they're not screaming because I'm tough and sexy. Okay? They're screaming because I'm doing something dangerous, and their concern is for themselves. I'm probably going to hurt them with my stupidity. The other fear is that even if I don't hurt them with my stupidity, I'm probably going to die a horrible, horrible, horrible death right there in front of them. And they have to live with that for the rest of their lives. That's why they're screaming. They don't care about me. But I didn't know that. So there I am, swarmed with the bees. Very staunch man like going, "Ah!" And a friend throws his jacket over my head and a couple of other friends grab me by the arms and then they drag me inside. This is amazing, because they're dragging me in. I'm the toughest and sexiest of them all. I've got scars to prove it. Chicks love scars, even if they're bee sting scars on your face. Yeah. And all the girls are just sort of part as I'm getting dragged through, and they're all just staring at me with their mouths wide open. There's one girl there, and she's sort of a friend of a friend. She's never actually spoken to me before, and she just looks at me with this look. It's like pure detestment, and just sort of, I don't know, hatred. And she says, "You're an idiot." And that's how I met my wife. All right, I'm going to bring up... Hi, honey. I'm going to bring up our next act. Our next act's a great guy, Morris Davies. Are you ready, Morris? All right, come on up.
to take quite a lot of drugs just to get here tonight, but, and I took some cold drugs too. But, no, look, I've actually got notes because I get a bit nervous, and when I get nervous I go off track, but I'm actually going to keep referring to my notes and stick to them, okay? So I just want to double check and reading notes. Public speaking is quite nervous, but make sure you have your pants on. The two biggest fears in public speaking in that you wake up or walk around with no pants on. And I thought I'd better say a joke. If you do any public speaking... It's funny, I couldn't see that with the lights on. I thought I'd say a joke. When you do public speaking, if you're a bit nervous, you kind of say a joke to warm up. But it's a comedy night, so I was like, oh, do you say a joke at a comedy night? I don't know. So I thought I'd say something serious, actually. Combat today. So the only thing I could find today that was a bit serious is, did you realise today that the Flat Earth Society have rejected global warming? Thank you for laughing. Oh, actually, I just want to remind you too, this is a fundraiser, comedy. If you don't laugh, we don't make any money. Actually, no, you pay. We've already made the money. It's okay. Don't have to laugh. Anyway, breathe. Water, the beer, toilet. Done. Okay, let's make a start. I had the incident a few weeks ago in Christchurch. I had a friend down there. She wasn't involved in a sense, but I knew she was a recurring person. And I texted her the next day just to see how she was getting on, how she was feeling. And she texted back, and I was thinking this is probably in the minds of a lot of people. She didn't know what to do. And I just texted back some just basic stuff. And actually, this is my advice, and it's my advice to lots of people when you have serious trauma, drama, anything that goes on. Actually, just live your life and live it to the fullest and live it really well. Hey, I think, and that combats terror and that combats everything that's trying to bring you down. So yeah, big thank you to everyone that made this happen. I did want to take part and just share that. But look, I titled my wee skit tonight as Live Life to the Fullest. Oh, sorry, mine's Everyday Life. Yeah, everyday life. Should have written the notes, believe it. Anyway. So, here we go, I better make a start. So, I'm Morris, I'm a man. No, actually I have a penis. I always hope someone will yell out, yeah, prove it. You're like, I'm just going to get it out, actually. So, this is my penis. Actually, it's my son's pet snail. And I have terrible spelling, so when I wrote on the little jar, peanut, I made my T a bit funny, and my wife read it. She said, "You call the snail penis?" And my boy cracks up laughing. He doesn't actually know what that means, so he laughed, we laughed, and so now it's called penis. It's quite cute, actually. But anyway, so he comes home. He's at preschool. And he says, "Hey, Dad, they've got pet day at preschool." "Well, that's cool, son." He goes, "Oh, yeah. He goes, "Can I take my pet snail?" I'm like, yeah, no big deal. I can't see anything that's going to go wrong with that, eh?" So he takes his pet snail to school, and you can see him. All the other kids are showing off their rabbits and their sheep and their dogs. And he gets up with this wee snail, and it's a bit small, but people's going to laugh at it. He goes, "This is my pet penis." He goes, "It's squishy sometimes, and it's hard other times. And if you play with it too much, it shrivels up." I poked it in the eye, so one eye got broken. Dad calls it a one-eyed monster. He's at a Catholic school anyway. There's a sister there, this old sister, I think she's 80, going on 180, but they run the school, and so I get this phone call. Her name's Bernadette, Sister Bernadette, but I call her Sister Burn in Hell because I'm not quite sure when I'm finished talking to where I'm going, actually. She's in the afterlife. But anyway, so I get this phone call, and she's like, "Mr. Davies, your son's had his penis out at school again." I'm like, "Oh, okay, sister, I did give him quite specific rules." I said, "He's only allowed it out at lunchtime, and he is, when he shows the boys, be careful because one of them might grab it and run off. Don't show the girls because they'll scream, and don't smudge it on the windows because that slimy stuff's really hard to get off." And she's like, "Are you being serious?" I was like, yeah, it's quite a cute wee penis." And she's like, no, he's had his actual penis out at school." I'm like, oh, sorry, sister, I'll have a word to him. I will, I swear. Look, there's some people out there that say there's no difference between us, men and women and boys and girls. And I was like, I disagree. I think they're quite stupid people, actually, because they obviously don't have kids, and they obviously don't have a boy or a girl. And so look, we were just going through a bit of toilet training with our boy and our girl. And so this is my little girl. She comes up. She's like, Daddy, I need to go to the toilet. I'm like, oh, okay, sweetie. Do you need a hand? She's like, I think I can do it by myself. I'm like, oh, proud dad moment, eh? This is my boy. Dad, I've got to go. I've got to take a piss. And I'm like, go. And he's like, yeah, he's quite funny. He's a hard shot, actually. So, we progressed with this. He comes back running out. He says, Dad, I've got to go. I'm like, quick, go to the toilet. Don't piss, just go to the toilet. So he runs in. He comes out. He's all happy. I'm like, did you get in the toilet? And he goes, I think some sprayed in. But look, we learned this wee trick, actually. We put table tennis balls in the toilet. I don't know if any adults do that. Well, they actually do it in the toilets in the pubs, because I think it's a problem with males, but they put the fly there. You piss in the fly. Well, we do it with table tennis balls, and my boy, he's actually really good, actually. You can get them spinning round and round and round. And it does spray a wee bit of urine up, but it's not enough to get out of the bowl. But he's quite good at it, eh? So anyway, he goes off to school, and unfortunately I get another ring from Sister Blenheim, and it's like, she's like, Mr. Davies, your wee boy's been pissing all the other kids' balls. I'm like, what kind of school is this? And she goes, no, he's been urinating on the table tennis balls. It was sports day today. I'm like, oh, sorry, sister, please forgive me. She has to get it.
Good catch for that penis.
Yeah, hate playing with that penis, but stuff on the hand. Anyway, so look, we're from a Catholic family, and quite a staunch Catholic family, and I know it's not about the size of your snail, but I got extra large crucifixes put all around our house, because I like to, just prove that we're pretty Catholic. And I've got lots of Protestant friends, and they're always like, you bloody Catholics, you always leave Jesus on the cross, eh? I'm like, well, where do you put Jesus? And they're like, in our heart. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, so if you've got heart disease, is that like Jesus in the slums? And they're like, no. And I'm like, we've got a heart murmur, is that Jesus whispering? And they're like, no, you're so stupid. I'm like, what if you have a heart attack? Is that Jesus like, let me the fuck out of here? And they're like, God, we hate talking to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I do get a bit of complex. We don't always leave Jesus on the cross. Once a year I take him off the cross, give him a clean, and then we put him back on ready for Easter. But so look, I've got him off the cross, and I was cleaning him up, and I left him in the front porch, and I went to work, got home from work. But it's actually quite cool. I actually like this. I think I'm going to have to modernise the old faith and get some new PR stuff going. But I get home, Jesus in the foyer like this. I'm like, it's hug me, Jesus. It was awesome, eh? Anyway, I got told off. My wife's quite staunch Catholic, so I took him out. I put him in the lounge, and I lay him up on the floor against the couch, and he's like this. I come back and I was like, hey, it's Pilates Jesus. Yeah, my wife really gets annoyed at it, eh? But anyway, I picked him up to go and try and put him back in the cross. I dropped him, landed on his head, and I was like, it's breakdance Jesus. Yeah, that's Catholic home. It's pretty funny, really. But no, look, my boy, cheeky wee bugger, he picks him up, starts running around the house. He's like, hey, Dad, look, it's Super Jesus. I'm like, don't be so stupid. I'm like, he's like, Dad, who would win in a fight with Superman and Jesus? So I'm like, well, Superman might be able to lift the world. That's pretty cool, but Jesus can, he can lift the whole universe. And he's like, oh yeah. And then he's like, who would win in a fight between, Jesus and Iron Man? I'm like, oh, Jesus is waste Iron Man. I actually like Iron Man. But what about Spider-Man? I'm like, no, waste Spider-Man. He goes, what about the Hulk? I'm like, I'm not sure about that one, actually. It's a pretty good question, that one. And he goes, what about Thor? And I'm like, oh, actually, Jesus doesn't really like Thor. And my son's like, is that because he's a false god? I'm like, no, because we borrow his hammer to nail him back on the cross. The joys of faith, home, mate. But yeah, my boy gets into this stupid conversation. He goes, what about Batman? I'm like, who would even make a stupid movie like that? Jesus versus Batman. God, it's just dumb. Anyway, it is common, I thought I'd tell some jokes. Apparently when you go to a party and they know you've been to a stand-up comedian thing, they say, oh cool, you must tell jokes. And I thought I'd tell you a joke. So, how many Catholics does it take to change a light bulb? None. We still use candles. How many Presbyterians does it take to change a light bulb? Change? What's change? What about New Age Christians? How many New Age Christians does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but it takes the rest of the church to pray out the darkness. Flat Earth Society. How many of them does it take to change a light bulb? I don't know. I think they're in the dark. And if they had a light, if they had a battery, it would be flat too. So they probably haven't got lights. Evangelical Christians. How many evangelical Christians to change a light bulb? Only one, but the rest of them look like they're trying to change them. Anyway, I'm just going to finish there. Look, I just started a business recently. We install lights and clean them. And I went to a couple of local happy clappy churches and asked if they come and work for me, and they're really good. But no, they're actually quite cool. You bring them inside, just put on some happy clappy music, and they just go around cleaning all the lights for me. And so it's quite a hit at the moment. But I thought I'd just finish on a song, just to kick off the night. So I don't know if you want to give me a bit of a clap.
He's on the side.
I thought I'd lost my penis. I might put it away before someone touches it. Okay, here we go. Give me a beat. Here we go. Thank you for clapping. I've enjoyed the show as well. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna... Thank you.
Morris Davies, ladies and gentlemen. As religious type humour reminds me, I was talking to a priest the other day. I'm a shoe person. I'm a person that owns shoes. I have this and another pair. I like shoes very much. For a man, that's a lot. And so I spoke to a priest because I want to know. Hey, Father. I say, Father, can I buy shoes in heaven? He goes, well, because this is a joke, so he's Irish. He goes, well, I've read the Bible, I've taught the Bible, I've studied the Bible, but no, I don't think that there's ever been a reference of there being cobblers in heaven, so no, I don't think you can buy shoes in heaven. I'm like, oh, that sucks. And I'm like, well, can I take my shoes? He goes, what do you mean? I go, well, when I go to heaven, can I take my shoes, or is it like barefoot the whole time? What's up? And he goes, oh, he goes, not entirely. I'm like, what do you mean not entirely? He goes, well, you can't take the whole shoe. You just take the sole. All right, now for somebody better. We have Nigel Corbett, ladies and gentlemen.
No. That doesn't work for me, sorry. My brother's quite famous, and so when I get introduced and stuff, you guys need to clap a lot more. No, hang on. We'll do it again. We can't just, it's not easy. We'll do it again, right? So when I come on, lots more clapping, right? A bit of cheering, bit of woo, woo, bit of that, okay? All right? Otherwise it doesn't happen.
Sorry, I take the blame for that. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Corbett's a better looking and much funnier brother.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably a bit too much. No one said, who the fuck's that? Yeah, I'm Nigel Corbett. I am Jeremy Corbett's brother. He's famous. I have absolutely no jealousy or envy for him. He's done really well for himself, and perhaps, he's forgotten the little man, but, I don't care, But before he became famous, we used to do a double act, me and him. We used to do a double act and stuff, and I'll do one for you now. I can't remember his bits, but my bits were, yeah. So we'd come on, right? He'd introduce himself. Yeah, and I'm Nigel. He'd do some fucking funny shit, right? He'd do some really funny bits there. Yeah. He'd do some more funny stuff. Kumquat. Bogus. But I got the last, because my bit was last. And that's my picture. Yeah. She looked up at me with blood in her eyes, and then her skin fell off and she promptly died. It was Ebola. Thank you. Thanks for coming out too. Thanks for coming out. Hey guys, do you like the bar? Do you like 5 Tap? What are you thinking? Round of applause for 5 Tap. I'm not just asking because what I'm doing is I'm actually preparing you for Google, because what happens is when you leave here and stuff, Google will send you a text saying, hi, what did you think of 5 Tap? Did you like it? How many stars would you give it? Would you give it 5 stars? How many stars? How many stars? How many stars would you give it? Would you recommend it to a friend? Would you? Would you say it's your friend, or you should go to 5 Tap? Google's turning places like 5 Tap, businesses, motels, stuff like that, into needy little bitches. Oh, did you like 5 Tap? Did you have a good time at 5 Tap? Michael from Kaitoa, he said 5 Tap was really good. What do you think? Would you write a review about it? Yeah, 5 Tap is quite good. No, it has to be 20 words, otherwise I don't publish it. Are you getting some bad ones, Hayden? Yeah. So and then so you do things like the other day I rang up a bank, right? And it was the conversation was over in about a minute, and it was recorded for training purposes, and it's a minute long. And I've yet to walk down the street and talk to someone, and they say, "Hey, you're that guy from the training thing." But then I got an email saying, "How was it? What did you think of the banking? Did you bank? Did you have some banking? What was banking like? Was banking good? How many stars? What banking would you give? Would you tell your friends that you bank? It's longer than the fucking conversation. I did the fucking banking. I just want you to leave me alone." I bought some glasses. I bought a pair of glasses because I needed some glasses. I bought them online. For the next 6 or 8 months, all I had was people asking, "Do you want buy some glasses? I've got some fucking glasses." "No, do you want some more?" "I bought those exact glasses. Do you want another pair?" Needy little bitches. That's what it's turning us all into. She looked up at me with tears in her eyes, and then her stomach burned through and she promptly died. She drunk Genola. Thank you. Oh, I got some news. Yeah. Me and the wife. Expecting a baby. Very excited. I rushed home, said to my brother, Jerry, me and the wife, we're expecting a baby. And he goes, "Oh, fantastic. What, your wife's pregnant?" And I said, "Yeah, she's pregnant." And he says, "Well, do you know what it is?" And I said, "Yeah, I fucked her." "That's what it is." And he says, No, do you know what the baby is?" And I said, "Yeah, it's a little human. You see people pushing them around prams. Apparently they can be quite awesome. You treat them right." And he says, No. "Do you know if the baby is a boy or a girl?" And I said, "I don't care, Jeremy." And he says, "What, as long as it's healthy?" And I said, "No, as long as it doesn't look like John, the neighbour." She looked up at me with fear in her eyes, and then her stomach exploded and all her organs were splattered around the room, and she just lost the blood everywhere, and it was horrible. It was a loud noise. She had swallowed a grenade. Ola. That's how you make that one work. Just put Ola on the end of it. I've just come back from I've just come back from England. I was doing my OE. I went over there in May. And like over in England, it's fantastic because it's such a wonderful place. There's so many people from different cultures and different places and stuff. And they've got such beautiful accents, you know. Like there's the sing-song Irish, there's the smooth free air Irish, yeah. There's the beautiful French accent and stuff like that, and the thick Scottish brogue and stuff. It's just amazing. It's just incredible. But the most incredible thing I found about that is that over there, because I'm from New Zealand, I'm the one with the accent. Yeah. And they love it. Go on. Go. More about that later. Not yet, no. Go on. Say my fucking name. Gareth. Oh, fuck, that's beautiful. That is fucking lovely. Michael. Oh, fucking that's amazing. Debbie. Oh, geez, I just got to. So over there, and like, and it's quite interesting because like, I wonder when, because I went down the sounds the other day, and at night it's just absolutely beautiful, right? And like you hear moorporks. That's one of the things I notice is moorpork. Like, moorpork, 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 moorpork. What the fuck are they saying? I'm Dave, I'm Barry. I'm Dave, I'm Barry. All fucking night. I'm Dave, I'm Barry. And they get closer and closer. I'm Dave, I'm Barry. I'm Dave, I'm Barry. I'm Dave. Do you want to have sex? I'm Barry. Yeah, all right. I'm looking at my notes here. I was thinking of what sort of comedy I should write for this evening because it's a very special night. It's a very lovely cause, and thank you all for coming down. It's wonderful. And I thought I might write some comedy about sarcasm. And then I thought to myself, fucking sarcasm? Oh yeah, that's going to be fucking funny, isn't it? Then I thought I'd do some comedy. I thought I'd write some comedy about anger, but then I just fuck it! Not doing that. Thought I'd write some comedy about time travel into the future. But when I got there, you guys didn't find it funny. I thought I'd do some comedy about deja vu. Turns out you guys have already heard it. And I thought I'd do some comedy about deja vu, and then... That's funny. I love it. Anyway. But then while I was writing my comedy, right, I had this blinding insight. A blinding insight. It stopped me dead in my tracks, right? And it was about men, the way that men and women communicate. Or to put it more precisely, it's how men don't actually listen to women when women are talking, right? And because women have such a more holistic, subtle and global sort of picture of the human condition and the nuances of humanity and the heart and how things work and stuff, and men could learn so much from that, you know? And if men just put their egos aside and just started listening to what women had to say, and not just, you know, nodding your head and stuff, but actually hearing what women had to say, then humanity would be a much, 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 much lovelier place. You know? If men could just just put their egos aside, just actually pay attention to what the women are saying and how they're saying it, and the message behind what the words, you know, wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't it be incredible? And so I went downstairs and I said to my wife, I said, man, I've just had this insight. I've just had this amazing thing. And I told her what had happened, and I said, look, if men just like listen to women and stuff, wouldn't it be an amazing place? And as I was telling her that, I could see the light come on in her eyes, the light of hope, the light of dreams. And she grabbed me by the shoulder and she said, Nigel, I have been waiting so long for you to say that. And then she kind of, you know, just fucking went on, you know, just blah, 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 fucking hell, you know. And the cricket was on, and I asked her to go and get me a beer, and last I saw of it. This is a true story, right? I was at my counsellor's, and she noticed that I have trouble accepting compliments and things like that, and she said, oh, that's interesting. What? And she said, how was your child? And I said, my child was amazing. It was really, really good. I'm pissed off about it because there's no comedy in there. But it's good. It was amazing childhood. And she said, well, what did your dad do? And I said, well, he's a pathologist. Does everyone know what the pathologist is? They cut up dead people to see what they die of. She said, "Wow, that must be a hard job." And I said, "What? Why is that a hard job?" And she said, "Well, every day he goes to work and he's seeing dead people. You know, he sees dead daughters and dead sons and dead wives and grandmothers and things like that. That must be really hard. You know, you must have to compartmentalise your emotions." And it struck me then that is what he brought home to me, and that must have spilled over. And I was 52 at the time, and I had never told my mum or dad that I loved them, right? And I thought that was odd. And they had never told me that they loved me. So the very next day, I could feel it in that room, I could feel the piece of the puzzle hitting me and fixing into place. It was like a big click. And so I rang my mum and dad, and I took them through this story. And at the very end, I said to Mum, I said, "I love you, Mum." And she said, "Well, I love my little Nigel." And then I said to my dad, I said, "Dad, I love you, Dad." And he said, "Well, I think you'll find most parents love their children." Oh, fucking genius, eh? Yeah. All right. We've just got a kitten at home. We've just taken delivery of a kitten, and I'd just like to say on behalf of my microwave, cats do not have 9 lives. They've got one, and it lasts about 30 seconds on high. Yeah, all right. Okay, I'll finish with a song. I'm not a very good guitarist, so please forgive me. Here goes. The other day I was buying some salami from the butcher at the end of the street, when it struck me as something quite noteworthy that the butcher's name was Alexander Meat. Isn't it funny how your name is like your job? Just sticks his fingers down my gob. Isn't it funny how your name is like your job? Our undertaker is Mr. Graves, our grocer's Mr. Green. My friend Fanny has a job that's quite obscene. Bill's in the police force, Jack Brewer deals in beers, but Nathaniel Dobolinski has been unemployed for years. Isn't it funny how your name is like your job? Thank you! Good night!
So we're going to take a little break for about 10 minutes, but before we go, just something to think about. Something that I think about is I'm a grown-up man person now, and I've got children, and they've grown up, and they're playing Pokemon. And I realise I played Pokemon when I was a kid. That game's like 23 years old. So most people here probably played as a kid. You probably didn't. But, yeah, most. And I just figured out what the game's about. Like right now, I figured out what the game's about. It's about Charlie Sheen. That's Charlie Sheen, the video game. Because you play a guy who goes around flinging his balls at anything that moves, and in the end he catches everything. So we'll take a 10-minute break. Go see Karaka Food. Their tacos are awesome. Grab yourself a drink, and we'll be back. Good evening. Are you all ready for round two?
Yeah.
That sounded really exciting. Thank you. Okay. So we've got an amazing lineup for round two. You have some treats in store. But first you must listen to me. But I'll start with a joke. Why not? So 17th century René Descartes, the French philosopher, walks into a bar and the bartender says, "Do you want a drink?" And 17th century French philosopher René Descartes says, "I think not," and ceases to exist.
I know that.
See, one person gets that joke. I know, if you don't get it, don't feel bad, you're just stupid. I'm just sort of gauging sort of the intelligence level before I move on. Okay, so I'll start with an explanation. Okay, so the brain. We all have one. It's an amazing organ. People say it's an amazing organ, and it truly is an amazing organ. I'll explain why. There's a part in your brain called the olfactory bulb. Anyone heard of the olfactory bulb? No. See, you're looking at me with those dead eyes of school children. You're like, "Chris, I'm here for comedy, and you're giving me some sort of TED Talk thing. What the hell?" All right, it'll get funny, trust me, but I need to educate you first. Okay, so I'm going to use my mouth words to give you some brain learnings. Just hold on, you get there. Okay, so you've got the olfactory bulb. That's a part of your brain that's actually at the back of your sinus cavity. Okay, and it's got the sensors on it that detect everything that you smell. Now, the important thing about the olfactory bulb is that it's one of two parts of the brain that can undergo a thing called postnatal neurogenesis. It's a really fancy way of saying it creates new brain cells when new stimulus touches it, so that it can, differentiate between new smells. So you ever seen, like when you're 14 years old and you're drinking wine out of a bag, and you're like, "Oh, it tastes like grapes," and then in your 30s and you're drinking wine and you're like, "Oh no, it tastes like cat pee and lawn clippings and all this other stuff." Why the hell would you drink that? Okay, that's because most of what you taste is actually your sense of smell, and your olfactory bulb has been creating new brain cells so that you can differentiate all of these things. Okay. Now your olfactory bulb works on particles touching it. It doesn't work on waves or magic or energy. It's particles touching it. Okay. And you're like, "Wait, this is really exciting because I'm learning stuff about my brain. Why is this funny?" Have you ever walked into the toilet after somebody and there's like an eye-stingingly bad stench in there? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You can smell that because their poo particles are touching your brain. Yes. So keep this in thought as well. Okay, when you walk into it right off the bat, you can tell if they've done one of those big, nice, massive solid turds, or one of those big, splattery shotgun cover all over the toilet bowl sort of diarrhea turds. And you can just tell that by sense of smell. And do you know why that is? Because so much of people's poo, your poo, my poo, other people's poo, has touched your brain that your brain has been forced to create new brain cells to determine all of these poo smells so they can tell the difference between the solid turds and the liquid ones. So there you go. Something to think about. Now I like life hacks. Who likes life hacks? Yeah, I like life hacks. Because back when I was young, it was called being cheap. And now I can be cheap and I just call it a life hack. I picked up a really cool life hack. It's one of those things that you do. If you're ever using a bathroom with other people, there's like a group of people in a house or a group of people in an office or whatever, you got the same toilet and you got to do it. And you went in there, you sat down and you stunk it out. This only works if you're a guy though. Okay, you sit down, you stink the whole thing out. And you're like, "Man, I hope nobody, suspects that it's my poo particles touching their brain." What you do is you lift the seat before you. Yeah. So anyway,
Live streaming
thank
like that.
Thank you all for coming here tonight anyway and giving to this wonderful, wonderful cause. This is one of the few times I actually get to give to a cause and feel good about it. One of the worst times I've ever given to charity was when I went shopping at the Warehouse. A couple of years ago, the Warehouse, they first sort of jumped on this thing of, hey, plastic bags might not be that good for the environment. So they tried to curb people's usage of plastic bags by charging you 5 cents, which is a good idea. The bad idea was they justified this by giving the 5 cents to charity. So by doing this, you think, okay, well, what's wrong with giving to charity? They've put me in a position that every time I go to the Warehouse, I'm an asshole. No matter what I do, I'm an asshole. Because I go into the warehouse and I buy my whatever thing it is that I'm going to buy and come back and buy another one because it'll break in like 3 days. And they go, do you want a bag? And I go, no, I'm good because I want to save the world. And they're like, so you don't want to give to charity then? And I look like an asshole. So the next time I go in, I buy some other piece of junk and I'm at the warehouse or some kid's toy or DVD, I don't know. I'm lying because I'm married, I have money. I go into the warehouse and you buy the next thing and they go, do you want a bag? And you go, yes, I'll have a bag. And they're like, so you don't care about the environment then? It's a terrible, terrible state of affairs to be in. Anyway, I've annoyed you long enough. We've got our next act coming out. You might be wondering about child labour laws around this, but it's okay, we're not paying her. I give you Natalia Lippiett.
Before I start, I want you to know this is M-rated. No children allowed here, please. Okay. Do you know why I think the Easter Bunny's gross? Well, all he does is find brown stuff from chicken butts, then hides it in aluminium foil. You know why I know this? The Easter Bunny's a mammal. They don't lay eggs, so they just find brown crap around Easter chickens and just hide it in aluminium foil, and then kids come out and be like, yay, Easter chocolate, and they're eating crap. And do you know who Simba is? Just raise your hands of who knows who Simba is. Lion King, stuff like that? Okay, well, you know the song too. Okay, so do you know his 2 favourite Pokemon? Kakuna Rattata. And did you know the world's most expensive coffee costs $400 and it's weasel crap? Yeah, it's weasel crap. And people who buy this are stupid because my dad buys $5 coffee and it still tastes like crap. Here's a history lesson. What's big, purple, and rules over half the world? Alexander the Great. And why did the Cyclops stop teaching at school? Easy answer. He only had 1 pupil. It's a classic. But this one's about road rules. 2 old ladies were driving down the street and they drove past a red light. You want to know what happens next? Well, they just drove past, no crashes. Safety first. And so they drove past the next light. The old lady wasn't sure to the right, so she's like, I'm not sure if that was a red light or an orange light. So she's just sitting there paying attention. They drive past another red light and she talks to the lady driving saying, you shouldn't drive past red lights, that's illegal. And so the other old lady just turns around and says, I thought you were driving. Oh well. And one day at school, this isn't real by the way, one day at school, the teacher asked me what I wanted to be. I said, I want to be a scientist. They said, no, you can't do that, you can't do math. Boy. So I'm like, well, okay, I want to be a lawyer. They said, no, you can't do that, you can't read. So I'm like this, okay, I'm wanting to go to a better school. So you know Winnie the Pooh? Well, this one's funny. Why did Tigger wash his hands? Because he was playing with Pooh. And why was the doctor angry? Because he ran out of patience. That one's also classic. It's really funny. I like it. Why did Tigger flush the toilet? Because Pooh was in it. Knock knock. Needle. Needle lift, I'll help you. And another knock knock joke. Knock knock. Ike. Ike, I'll never stop laughing. That one's also classic. And here's a science lesson for you all to know. Chromosomes and genes, just in case you don't know, are the things that make you you. But what you don't know is that diarrhea is also a part of them. They sure do run through your genes. And there's this lady, she works at a preschool. She looks at this quiet little girl, like, painting away, and so she just sits there and asks, "Hey, what you painting?" The little girl, just still staring at her painting, is just like, "I'm painting God." So she just stops and pauses for a moment, thinking, what does God look like? And so she just says, "No one knows what God looks like, hon." So she just looks up for her painting with her beautiful little blue eyes, and she says, "They will in a moment." And this one's the last one for you, all dedicated to my mum. Knock, knock. Cracked. Cracked a joke for you all. Thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you. You get off.
Well, I feel really bad about myself, so I'm not going to say any more words. But I will introduce our next act. We have Mr. Jono Entwistle. After that proper stand-up, I apologise for my gimmicky musical comedy. This first song's just about one of those everyday experiences that can be a little embarrassing that we all experience at one point in our life. I'm a little embarrassed right now. Something silly's just occurred, and please don't think any less of me. Please don't be deterred. Usually this isn't the sort of thing that I am about. So I'm really, really sorry that you caught me knocking one out. Knocking one out, knocking one out. I'm sorry that you caught me knocking one out. Yeah, you opened the door on me at around 3 o'clock. And there I was sat upon your couch, vigorously rubbing my hands together. And I forgot that you were coming home. I thought you were down the street. So I'm really, really sorry that you caught me beating my meat. Beating my meat, beating my meat. I'm sorry that you caught me beating my meat. I can't believe that this is happening. I want to turn and run. You couldn't have picked a worse time to arrive. I was just about to stop. And I'm ashamed that you had to see what I was doing there. And it kind of made it easier that I was wearing your underwear. And the picture of you in my other hand, it may have only made things worse. And the lipstick I had on my face that I found inside your purse. I'm sorry that I scared you. I'm sorry for the mental scar. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Grandma. Thank you. You may think that's a little weird, but I can assure you my grandma has aged very well. This next song is a little controversial for some people, so if you're Catholic, I take no offence if you storm out at any time. Because the song's all about birth control. Birth control. Take the humble condom, a little latex friend. Just rip the pack, pinch the tip, and pull down from the end. And if it kills the mood to don the one-finger glove, just try to remember, baby, we used to screw for love before birth control. Before birth control, yeah, birth control. Then science gave us the pill, miracle little tic-tac, to hold her body's hormones, but help her moans in the sack. They say the side effects are minimal, yet seem to go on for years. But to avoid having babies, baby, really who cares? With birth control, I'm using birth control, yeah, and birth control. There's so many methods of prevention. Some work while others I doubt. Some ladies get the injection, some lads will just pull out. There's spermicides, the cervical cap, the diaphragm and the vaginal ring. I prefer IUD over vasectomy, but abstinence is the only sure thing. Maybe that's for you, we don't judge. If you're happy to go without, but as for me, well, that just couldn't be, ladies. So hand some condoms out, I'm using birth control, I'm teaching birth control, I'm preaching birth control, yeah, birth control. Just doing my bit to spread the message of safe sex. So this is my last song, and it's just a little story from my youth, from growing up in a loving and caring household. I was a happy young boy, a carefree little sprite. I would play tag and I would play war and I would fly my kite. But all of that changed one evening. I had a bad dream that night.
I ran crying to my parents' room, but something wasn't right. It was the night I saw my parents having a shake. There was my mum writing on top of my bed. Clothes was thrown all across the floor. Yeah, it really makes me sad when I think about the night I saw my parents shake. They kind of heard me enter, they didn't even slow. I wanted to turn and run, but I just kept watching the show. The way she moaned, yeah, the way he smiled, the violent way they were going wild. They started going faster. Something's about to blow. On the night I saw my parents having a shake. There was my mum gyrating on top of my bed. A Durex wrappers on the floor, yeah, it really makes me mad when I think about the night I saw my parents shake. I still see it in my head, the image still remains. My dad tied down to the bed with a leather and with chains. Just the thought of that alone is enough to drive me insane. If I write messed up songs, then it's that night which is to blame. And although I felt revolted, it somehow progressed. It's built up deep inside me, and this is what I've guessed. That night is the reason I drink, then I go out cross-dressed. And the reason I watch pornography that involves incest, because of the night I saw my parents having a shake. And there was my mum writing on top of my bed. And why is there a purple joystick, and why is there a red ball game? I blame all of my problems on seeing them shake. So why am I so turned on from seeing my parents shake?
John, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Now, ladies and gentlemen, you might not believe this, because sometimes I don't believe it, but once I was involved in a horrible, horrible accident. Did you know that? I was involved in a horrible, horrible accident. Probably not, because half of you here don't know who I am. Yeah, I'll tell you about the accident. The accident happened 34 years ago when my parents had sex with no intention to have children. Yeah. So, anyway, another word about what's happening tonight, and just another thank you for everyone who's coming along here. This is really, really good that you all come along here. Because it's a good sign that we're coming together as a community, all people. Doesn't matter what you believe or what you think. We're all coming together in New Zealand as a community. We're one people, and when one part of us is hurting, everyone comes together and we help out. And what some of you may not actually be aware is that this is a nationwide event that's happening tonight. This is happening all across New Zealand, not just in Blenheim, but we've got, I think, was it Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch, Palmerston North, Hamilton, Nelson, and I think I said Christchurch, but I'm going to say it again. And most of those places are also live streaming, so people all over the country can watch, the events unfold of tonight. So yeah, you guys are all a part of something really, really big. So be proud of yourself. All right, so time is ticking on. I could keep talking, but I'd rather give you something better to talk to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got Fergus Aitken.
Give it up for Chris. Okay, hello. My name is Fergus. That is my name. I'm from Wellington. Anyone here been to Wellington? All right. How many people here from Wellington? That guy that makes the weird animal noises. Sweet. Anyone from further up the country? Auckland? Yeah, cool. Which part of Auckland? Whangarei is not fucking part of Auckland. Yeah, I've seen the poster, mate. Your name isn't on it. So, what part of Auckland? Sorry, what's that? Oh, Ponsonby. Fantastic. Great. What street? Lady, what street in Ponsonby? Right, Tian Street. What number? Because my twin brother is fucking there right now. He's tuning into this shit. Hey, look, it's really great to be here in Blenheim. It's a long time since I've been here. So anyone here from... make some noise if you're from Blenheim. All right. Okay, brilliant. Make some noise if you're from a smaller place. Yeah, where are you from?
I'm not disclosing that.
Yeah, so, woo! No, I'm not going to tell you where. No, it's going to make me guess. Whatever. Seddon. All right, from Seddon. So coming to Blenheim must be like going to New York. You're like walking around going, fucking hell, people with shoes on! Indoor toilets! I said that about 7 years ago in Christchurch. No one laughed. So I've been looking at this for a while, and I've just been wondering if I got to put down there, put that up there, and put that on. Yeah, it'll be too far away. I just want to know. You know when you're a bloke and you just want to try things. Hey, you know what I mean? Hey, she knows what. Yeah, when you're bloke. When you get to go. Oh no, we'll try it on my knees. It'll be no problem. Just breathe out. Cool. So, anyone here? Anyone else here on drugs? So, because I've been watching tonight, and I've been thinking, now this looks like the kind of crowd that is definitely down for some stories about Class A drug abuse. There's a lot of people going, now we're talking. All right, so anyway, we'll get to that. So yeah, my name is Fergus. Look. Sorry, mate, I don't speak alcoholic. So yes, my name is Fergus. I had a teacher at school who couldn't pronounce my name. He called me fuck-ass. Yeah, hear that laughter? Yeah, it makes all the pain feel almost kind of worthwhile. And kind of in a roundabout way, it's sort of, I'm pretty sure that makes the psychotherapy tax deductible. So fucking laugh it up, motherfuckers. Also once, remember newspapers? Someone sent me a clip, a cut-out article from a newspaper once about Cyclone Fergus. And I was so thrilled. I actually thought, wow, I've made it. Nature. It's like the greatest thing, and I didn't really focus on it much. Like, Cyclone Fergus started with a whiz and a bang, and then, end of the article just sort of fizzled into a depression, and I just kind of went, yeah, that'd be fucking right. Right. So, anyone here actually been to the North Island? 3 times. Yep. Oh, look at the way that you're stroking that mic stand, you filthy minx. Fucking hell! I mean, I was just for a moment, I was thinking, what to do next, and I look over, and you're just going... It's like, you're literally there, just looking at me over your glasses going... Thank you very much. This is for you. Ah! Got a bit stuck there. Whoops. Still. Where would we be without a laugh? Palmerston North. Fuck, have you been there? Germany. So I haven't been to Blenheim for a long time. I have actually been going over to Nelson a little bit and Takaka. I really like it over there. So, oh yeah? Is it an unrelated drama? Oh yeah, girl at the bar, you like Takaka. Nelson, oh, Takaka. Yep, great, you like both. Great, and, yeah. What are you doing? Fuck off. What's your name? That's correct. Laura, ladies and gentlemen. You people will fucking clap at anything, eh? That was amazing. Laura! Oh, fucking brilliant. She's got a name. Brilliant. Just be careful. That's how fascism first started. Alright? So, I recently... How many of you have been to the new Nelson Airport? Yep. Oh, you're kind of selectively excited, aren't you? Kind of like... that felt a bit like... Yes, that's right, they've got a new airport. Yep, fuck them. I don't see us having a new fucking airport. Where's our airport? This is what happened to me. Towards the end of last year, I did a gig and I landed at Nelson Airport, and I got out of the plane, and then I was going into the terminal, and I thought, what's that over there? And over there was the new terminal. And then I thought, oh right, and I went to the old terminal, went through and came back through, and then about a couple of months later, New Year, I had another gig in Nelson, and I got off and I arrived, and I'm at the airport terminal, and there's the old terminal over there, and basically all that had happened was that the plane had stopped in a different place, but I was there for a moment going, how the fuck did they do that? Because as previously implied, I took drugs for a while. So one of the things that I noticed in Nelson, kind of Golden Bay, one of the things you get is there's a lot of Europeans there. So I'm not sure about the makeup of here. Anyone here from Europe? Any Europeans here? See how they behave? You know, they're civilised. Yeah, from Europe. That's right. I'm just quietly buying up the place. Awesome. Well done to you. Fucking weirdest heckle ever, eh? Sit down. Sit down. So, something I've noticed, and when I go to Takaka, there's a lot of Europeans there. And I said, any Europeans here? And this woman went, yeah, from Belgium. And I think she might have been a little bit surprised when I said, oh, you're from Belgium, so do you speak Flemish? And she went, yes, I do. And I went, and just off the top of my head, I went, oh, so you speak Flemish, so do you feel really homesick when someone goes, to her credit, she laughed, because imagine if that had gone bad! Another time I said, any Germans here? And someone went, here, 9. And I thought, oh, how comical. And then I looked out and realised that there were, in fact, exactly 9 in a perfect square. It's a perfect square formation, completely encompassing the Polish and the Czechs. Oh, too soon for that. Okay. Fair enough. So I think, we're getting together to kind of overcome, to think about love and mass togetherness and unity and kind of overcome stereotypes. Seriously, are there any Germans here? Seriously. Perfect. Did you hear that? Yeah. I love the perfection of it. Yeah. Actually, no. No, I had a quick think about it, and I'm not actually from Germany at all. Well, that's not right, because it must be difficult to kind of live with those kind of stereotypes. The stereotypes are unfair, and we're here to kind of think about humanity and get beyond stereotypes, right? So, years ago, I was in Germany, and I was in this club, right? And I was getting on very well with this young woman, and it was kind of like a German sparkle party thing, like the German. Yeah, then one guy here has taken ecstasy, he knows what it's all about. It's kind of like, oh, wow, everything's a German sparkle party. Bah, bah, bah. And I did this gig once in Amberley. So you think this is a weird gig? I did this gig once in Amberley to just a whole bunch of farmers in a rugby club, and on the way there, I'd seen some irrigators in the moonlight, and I had this whole thing in my head about German sparkle parties, and I'm kind of like going, you guys must get out there in the moonlight with all the cows, with drizzles of water just on them, and it's like being the German sparkle party! And all these people going, what the fuck? It's wonderful, and then somebody woke up. It's actually true. They were, there was a huge laugh at the back of the room, and these people going, he's snoring! As I had a mobile mic and a follow spot, so I went right to the back of the room and I went, oh, hi, I'm hypnotising you, you're waking up, you're having a dream about gargling sausages, and now you're waking up with my cock in your mouth. So just feeling out the room, you know what I mean? It's weird. So I was with this girl in a club in Germany, and things were going well, but I was staying in a little room around the corner, and so, went to the nearest place. And, I'm not trying to, progress stereotypes here, but I bit her a little bit hard on the nipple. And she said, in a very German voice, she said, if I'd known you were into this kind of thing, we could have gone back to my house. I have all the gear. And I shat myself. And she really seemed to like that. Oh, that's about... So, hey, New Zealand, yay! Yay! See, you'll just do that for anything. So, fucking A. It's really good that we're here, for this perfect cause. It's beautiful, we're all here, we made it. Fucking A! Yay! Fucking A. That's a weird thing to say, isn't it? Fucking A. Unless you're about to launch into the entire Tourette syndrome alphabet, in which case that's the obvious place to start. But we say a lot of weird things, don't we? We say a lot of weird things. That's the best thing since sliced bread. If you think about it, someone in history must have taken a loaf of bread and a knife, sliced off a piece, taken that, perhaps dropped it in the fire, inadvertently inventing toast, and then and only then in that moment could they say, that is the best thing since sliced bread. Fucking A. Yeah, I prefer applause to laughter. It makes it feel educational rather than funny. The Europeans are going, oh, very good. Very good. But it's weird, isn't it? We have a lot of things that we say, and where do they come from? I stayed at Nigel's place, and I came out in the morning, he said, Fergus, how did you sleep? And I said, well, I slept like a baby. I'm really sorry about all the screaming. The poo and the vomit everywhere. But, yeah. I'm from a small town. Anyone heard of Upper Hutt? Yeah, people go, hey! And immediately laugh like, oh, fuck! You made it here. Where I grew up in Upper Hutt. We were famous in the late 80s, early 90s. We made this movie called Slouching Bogan, Hidden Flagon. It's huge. What's that, mate? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could probably abuse you, mate, but it appears that God has beaten me to it, so... Well done. So a couple of things. I did mention, I mentioned drugs, and it's because, and I'm going to tell you a really brief story, and I know that not everyone here is into drugs, and that's a good thing, okay? But make some noise if you've ever taken any kind of drugs. It's cool. We can, seriously, we're among friends here. It's an amnesty. All right? Okay, so we'll do it again. And this time, be honest. All right? This time, be honest. Make some noise if you've ever had some ecstasy. It was probably a little bit expensive in your time. Let's come down. Right, so I was once in this place. It was very much like this, actually. It was very, very much like this. It was a club like this. There were curtains. There was a DJ banging music. I was in my 30s, and it was this amazing. Remember this amazing music that used to happen. This electronica music is beautiful. How many of you have actually? You woman that goes to Takaka, you get into house rave music? Yeah, sure. How many people here really like electronic music? Just because you lose yourself. That's right. Woohoo! Yeah, great. And then an awesome song, like that one that goes... It's fucking epic. You know the one? And there's another one that goes... It's awesome. And then you get a whole new DJ with a whole new set, and it's kind of like... Oh, this is fucking really familiar. I love it. So I was in this situation, right, in this club, and I was in my 30s, and I was dancing to music, and I tell you what, when you're on ecstasy and you're a man in your 30s, and you're dancing to music, you're not dancing to music, you are dancing, you are fucking music. And it was incredible. It was truly incredible. I had this incredible situation. I will just say, at one point, I went to the bathroom, all right, and every time I looked in this little window, there was a very, very intense, disturbed, sweaty-looking man just staring back at me. This little window staring back at me. I had no idea it was a mirror. It was fucking staring at me. So I stopped looking at that, and I went back out into the dance floor. I'm loving it. But you see, my friend had warned me. They said, now be careful, Fergus, because some people have been finding these ecstasy pills a little bit dangerous, and they've been known to kind of black out a bit, and their hearing goes strange, and then they OD. And so I'm dancing away, and I thought I was just a legend in my own mind. I was only keeping my feet on the floor to not freak out the humans. I was absolutely having this ethereal experience. And actually it all slowed down. It was like... And then everything slowly started to black out. And I felt myself feeling enveloped. And it was getting muffled. And I actually thought, oh my God, I'm going to OD. And then I had a moment of clarity. This is all true. I had a moment of clarity, and what had happened is that I just danced into a curtain. I was just fucking wound up in the curtain. And I came out of the curtain. And hundreds of people just completely ignored me. They had fucking no idea I was there. And what I found, right? What I found is that I was on the way home to my flat. Well, I told everyone it was an apartment, but it was a flat, right? And on my way home, I left the club, and it's 7:15 in the morning, Saturday morning, and I noticed that the music was still going. I'm walking around the streets of Wellington going... A police car went past. I got into my flat, which to me was an apartment. If you'd gone there, it was a flat. But anyway, I got in there, and now it's 7:45 in the morning, and I'm just feeling like, there's no way I'm going to sleep for a while. Probably days. And then I noticed the music was still actually happening. So I'm dancing in my flat. I'm fully into it. And then I start thinking, I'm not imagining this. I'm actually hearing this. And I'm thinking, it's coming from my new neighbour's house. Well, the apartment through the wall, the flat, the next door flat. And I thought to myself, he must be up all night like me on ecstasy. He's on there. He's listening to this music at 7:45 in the morning. We're going to have so much in common. And I'm dancing away thinking, I wonder when I'll meet my new neighbour. This is just too crazy. And then I had another moment of lucidity in the middle of all this. And I actually realised my new neighbour's house is that way. And this is the laundry. And I am dancing to a fucking washing machine. That is true, my friends. So that's completely true, right? So, I did that routine, right, at a gig in Hanmer Springs a couple of years ago. And I went to this event, this sort of private event, with a couple of friends of mine, beautiful, beautiful couple of women who were together at that time, gorgeous. And the day after the gig, I would sort of say hello to everyone, and they'd just kind of go, and after we went back to Christchurch, I texted my friend and said, I really enjoyed travelling with you ladies. That was great. Thanks so much for the lift, and it was really nice to hang out with you afterwards. It was just perfect, And she sent me back a text that just said, except, and this is still true, except what it actually said was dildo, 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 dildo. It's only women laughing at this point. Men are. 7 minutes later, she texted me back again saying, oh, by the way, that's meant to say diddle-dee, diddle-dee, diddle-duh, 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 not dildo, 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 dildo. But by 7 minutes later, it was way too late. I'd already worked it out. So, some of you may know that Bermuda is a place. How many of you remember the Bermuda Triangle? Yeah, weird. Ooh, spooky. Now, see, this comedy thing is not actually fucking as easy as it looks, does it, mate? Because you just keep sending words out, and people are going, "Fuck, it's good that they've got the wheelchair ramp in and through." Fuck, he made it all the way over there. Get on him. Give him a certificate. Yeah, I do this for a living, mate, so... Something about wanking, I don't know. So yeah. Have you ever been at work and you're getting into your first email and then someone yells out, comes over and goes, "I'm Jennifer," and you just forget what you're emailing? Yeah, no, me neither. This never happened. So, Bermuda, in the Bermuda Triangle, you know how it's all kind of like, it's all kind of weird and spooky? Okay, right, let's park that idea. You know Hamilton, how it's all kind of like, and it's all kind of weird and spooky. We're connecting. There was this situation where... Okay, great. So, there was this group of people, and there's this woman walking along, and there's a whole bunch of really pissed men. Like this. And this woman is going, "Come on, hurry up!" And this man in the front of it's going, "Oh, well, okay." And she goes, "Come on, I want to fuck you." And this man at the front of the group's going, and she goes, "Just bring them with you." I didn't know what to do, so clearly I just joined in. It was a weird night. But, yeah, it's a weird way to get into the Bermuda joke. I don't know why I did that. Anyone here? So now, Blenheim, are you people into swingers parties? Yeah, a bit of interest over there, a bit of a nervous laughter there, so we know what it's about. So, you go to a party and you put your keys into a bowl and you're just going to see what happens, and then you leave with, whoever, and you just take whatever keys and off you go. I scored myself a fucking Toyota Hiace van. I did. It's awesome. Yeah, and this bloke called Kevin that sulks a bit every time I get out of the shower. So you know, Bermuda, right? How it's a Bermuda Triangle player. And the Bermuda Symphony Orchestra is actually famous for the Berlioz Symphony of tuba and trumpet. And triangle. And in that piece, the tuba goes, and the trumpets go, and the triangle player goes, and you can imagine the tension in the room every time they go. Where the fuck are they? And they've gone. The Bermuda Triangle player has gone. And you can imagine the Bermuda job office. It'll be like, hello, job office. Orchestra manager. Another triangle player, I guess. Interesting. So are you still doing this routine then, eh? Are you in front of an audience now? Yeah. Did you ever rewrite the ending to make it work? Yeah, no, I didn't think you would, you lazy prick. Yeah, so how's it going? Oh, just one guy at the back who reckons he can do better. Oh, yeah. What, is he borderline retarded? Yeah, just stay with it. You'll find an ending. That's great. Round of applause for my Irish friend. I went to Dublin once, it's a true story as well. I went to Dublin, I went to a newsagent, I said, can I have a newspaper please? And the woman said, would you like today's paper or yesterday's paper? I said, well, today's. And she went, come back tomorrow. It's completely fucking true, that actually happened. So, the reason that I told you about this story about Bermuda is because there's something deeper, all right? There's this thing called love, right? So how many people are actually in love? Okay, let's rephrase things. How many people here tonight are in a couple? Make some noise if you're in a couple. Right, and no one responded to the love thing. So there's going to be some fucking very awkward drive homes. There's going to be a lot of people driving home tonight going, right, so what was that about then? You forget you're in love with me? What the fuck's going on there? Fuck, they're heckling each other over there at the back, eh? So the thing is about love, right? Is there's a lot of I don't pretend to have the answers, but there's a couple of things I've learned. For example, predictive text, like my friend in that earlier story with the dildo. That's a thing, right? I was in a situation once where my partner and I had a small argument, but I believe we love one another, and I sent her a text saying, "Darling, you know we love one another. You know we're both awesome. I believe we can work anything out." And somehow, at her end, she got a text saying, "You fucking bitch, you've ruined my life." So I'm not going to pretend I have the answers, but don't use predictive text. Now, one thing you can do, if you really want to honour someone and show that you love them, show that they're worth it, show that you consider them a spiritually evolved, amazing being, don't say it with flowers. The people that tell you to do that sell flowers. All right? The thing to do is say it with music, right? So, have you ever had that experience where you get yourself to the music shop and you can't remember the name of the DJ or the artist or the track or the orchestra or the band or whatever, and you're dancing around? This happened to me when I arrived in Blenheim, actually. This happened. And I'm dancing around in front of this woman. I'm going, it goes... She's just staring at me, and then I went, and there's that amazing bit that goes, ding! And she's just staring at me, and I'm dancing around going, and she's just staring at me. She looks at me and she goes, "Mate, this is a bakery." So without losing my cool at all, And without even breaking eye contact with her, I just slowly started putting all my clothes back on. And I just walked out of that place with my head held high. So yeah, I don't know, when my daughter was a teenager, her answer to everything was, So that's what I say about, love, the war, politics, what do we do? But I've got a couple of stories about kids, just to kind of finish off, just because I think there's a purity and there's a kind of energy about our experiences with kids that just kind of sum it up, and they're pure and they're truthful and they don't lie, and they do lie, little cunts, don't they, sometimes, but only when they've learned how to. But generally speaking, you want the truth, just observe children. You want to observe real, true clown, you observe children. The innocence, the naivety of children, there's something amazing about it. Now, how many people here have got kids? Hear that sound, eh? Oh yeah, thanks Fergus for reminding us about fucking reality. Yeah, we came out for a laugh and now you're going, how many of us have fucked our whole lives creating these little people? Yeah, so it's great. So I've got 3 kids. I had this experience once where I shared this room getting ready for a gig, and I shared it with my mate. And at this time, my son was 6, and this mate of mine, his son was 7, and this 7-year-old kid was in the room with us. And sometimes you feel, sometimes you've sort of, it's not truthful, but you find yourself kind of resorting to chit-chat with people. You kind of, yeah. Yes, I do. Get away from me. Let's go. Sometimes, and there I was in this room, and the 7-year-old, and for some reason I just kind of I started a conversation with him, and I thought, I don't know why I'm doing this. It's just pretty chit-chat. But I said, hey, Manny. And Manny went, yes. Because this 7-year-old, right, both his parents were amazing performers. He was a very precocious little boy. Or should I just say confident? He was precocious. He was a prick. Sorry, put it in your language. So, and I said, hey, Manny, you're 7, right? And he went, yes, I am. And I said, hey, Manny, well, my son is currently 6.5, and I don't know, I just wondered if you had any advice for him. And Manny said to me, yeah, tell him everything is about to get hardcore. And he punched me in the face. Little fucker. So that really happened. And also an experience that happened with my son Oliver about a year or 2 later when he was nearly 8. We were about to get on a train from Johnsonville into Wellington. He'd been really misbehaving. He was really difficult to kind of be with, but I love my son. I love him so much. I think the world of him. He really is like the blood in my veins, You know how we have that horrible thing for our kids, we love them so much, but fuck, they piss us off. But, so it'd been hard work, but I just had a moment where I said to him, Oliver, we are flesh-eating alien robots from outer space, and we must eat all of the people. Because, I do that sometimes. And he looked at me with this light in his eyes, like, oh, Dad, I love it when you play. I love it. And that was all the improv I had in me. So I said, so I'll pretend to be the dad called Fergus, because we're going to have to still pretend to be humans, right, to be among them. I'll be the dad called Fergus, and you can be the son called Oliver. And he went, yep, I've got it. And we got on the train, and 10 minutes later, I'm falling asleep on the train. And there was a bit where the train stopped, and some people got off, and some more people got on, and then the doors closed. And then in those really quiet few seconds, it's completely true, 8-year-old Oliver goes, Dad, it is time to eat all of the humans. So we did. Thank you. It was a Johnsonville line, so no one noticed. So I just want to leave you with this little story. Because I think at times like this, sometimes we feel confused, sometimes we feel overwhelmed, sometimes we feel helpless, powerless, etc. But, the wisdom of children can really lead us on, right? To enable us to cope with the world in a way that we just take the true essence of what's important and just go with that, right? Which I reckon is love, right? So my brother's little boy, my nephew, obviously, when he was about 4, he was playing rugby. Anyone here like rugby? Yeah. Great. That's excellent. So, you know, there are people in this room who are just going, yeah, I have thoughts too, but I just keep them in my head because I don't want people to think I'm a twat. Sorry, what's that, mate? Take that guy's cock out of your mouth and say it again. I didn't quite hear it. Hey, mate, after the gig, there's a party in your mouth. Everyone's coming. Yeah. Yeah, fuck off. No, kill. No, seriously, man. I'll, you know, it's all cool, man. I'm really glad you're here. So there's a story of hope for us all, right? So these 4-year-olds, you imagine all these 4-year-olds, they've got no idea how to play rugby. Whoever's got the ball, both teams, 30 children are just running in a pack around whoever's got the ball. And also you got to they're about this tall, they're 4, their socks come up above their knees and their shorts go down below their knees. Their boots are huge and they're just these little wee units running around. There's 30 of them in a group. And at one point, one of the kids has got the ball and he just runs and runs and runs. And so 30 kids are running and they go past the try line, but he has no idea what to do. So he goes on to the next field and there's a whole group of other older kids playing rugby at that point. And 30 small children run across that field in a pack and those people just stop and their crowd just goes, wow. And there's 30 kids run right through the whole length of that field and they keep going and they keep going and they only stop when they all hit this big fence at the end. Against the fence. 30 kids. Yeah. And what I say is that to me is an image of what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what the deal is, whether we know what's going on or not, really, all we truly ever have to do is just keep going. Thank you. Thanks very much. Hey, look, we're all part of a really important thing, so keep supporting people who need help. And let's hear it for comedy in Blenheim. Yeah. So, you know, with your help. Also, let's have another massive round of applause for the 5 Taps Bar. What an amazing... so Hayden and all his team, keep the applause going for all of them, because honestly, it's so good to be here doing this, because, you know, if it wasn't for them, we'd have to do this gig in a different place. Hey, look, you're great, so thanks for coming. Cheers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our evening. I can't hear what you're saying. Like, seriously.
He said he paid $20 to make a room full of people know that he's a massive fucker.
Yeah. Thank you. So thank you everyone for coming to this wonderful night. Thank you, 5 Tap, for hosting us. You guys have been kick-ass, and thank you for the free drink that you gave me earlier. I appreciate it. Thank you, Karaku.
You can do this.
No, I can't. Karaka. Thank you, Karaka Cuisine, for that really awesome food. It was good, all of it. And thank you to C4 Workshops, Snowboards and Ski Rental, Servicing and Repairs for buying the food for the comedians, so that we work for food. And you can follow them on Instagram, which is the biggest wasted name for a business ever. If I was going to have a business called Instagram, I'd wait for them to legalise marijuana, and then I'd do like Uber Eats, but for weed. Instagram. Perfect name. Okay. Anyway, and also thank you to the audience at home that's watching via live stream. Hi, Mum. She's going to make it tonight, so she's in there. Everyone say hi to my mum. Hi, Mum. And so that concludes our evening. So going forward, just a word of notice is that Marlborough Comedy is going to be continuing Five Tap has very generously decided that they can host us every first Thursday of the month. So come on down if you want to have a laugh. Or you, the fine gentleman in the back, if you are in fact as funny as you believe you are, you can come up here and we could rip the shit out of you. Thank you and good night.